Dear Shelby Oaks, Hard Eyes, The Monkey, Black Phone 2, and Him. Seeing as this is a love letter, I will endeavor to send you all away with only the most honeyed of words. Him. While you sported an attractive team behind your campaign and launch, I found your ultimate premise and execution wanting of polished technique and training. If the biggest compliment I can give to the movie is in terms of the visuals and style, we have a problem. Yes, I go to the movies for the big screen experience in my eyes, but also in my body. And Him, you made me feel almost nothing but mild annoyance at the lost potential before my eyes. Now, don't get me wrong, you may have a reputation in the future as a campy, fun, unserious addition in the stardom horror genre, but not for me. As for The Monkey, much in the same way as Him, you were ultimately not so much horror as much a showcase of blood, gore, and goosebumps for adults type energy. Again, this is a cup of tea for certain contexts, maybe. It all depends on what you demand of your horror projects. We all have our tastes. But for me, I will not be remembering this movie beyond another addition to the Stephen King adaptations of 2025 list, of which there is one in particular I have a lot of love for. More on that in another video. Now, Hard Eyes, yes, you are lower on the list, but in a way, it's better for you. I put you there because I didn't have that big of expectations for you in the first place, and what you delivered to me was pretty much on par with what I expected. But with the added leg up in memorability, thanks to your unserious Valentine's Day horror spoof energy, that was wisely used here. You're in a perfect middle. And speaking of perfect mids, Shelby Oaks managed to be the safest, most generic, yet somehow hard to complain about horror movie this year, thanks to several factors. Yes, its plot is thin, but it's also from a first-time writer and director of such a big project. Yes, its performances could be better, lots of it could be better, but the budget was low, so you gotta give it leeway there. Sure thing, sure thing. But what I will not overlook, outside of these technicalities and logistics, is that the actual horror soul of the movie did not scare me. At the beginning of the film, when there was still some mystery, I did feel that investment and suspense from fearing the coming unknown. But as the movie went on, I lost trust that it would pay off in an entertaining and satisfying manner, and I was unfortunately right. But hey, that's being a creator. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss, you iterate and keep going. And now, for the one I have no problem being a little mean to, Black Phone 2. Are there aspects of you that I can appreciate? Yes. Are there aspects of you other people enjoy and find quality and horror in? Yes. I do enjoy that the first movie was centered on the older brother and his trauma journey, and that the second movie is supposedly more about the little sister. But hold on, is it actually really? Because somehow, despite this movie being bigger than the first movie, it felt loads more empty and hollow in the character department. The character and the stakes department, I'll say. Things happen to our characters in the movie, yes. Things happen around them, yes. But not in a way that felt needed or earned. The first movie ends with the implication that, of course, both of these kids will forever be scarred and changed by the events that took place, and it implies that the father has regrets about the way he's treated his kids and dealt with his pain. It also ends with the understanding that, of course, there's lots of pain in general surrounding the mother, or lack thereof. I didn't need the extra movie where you undead the dead guy just to show me that very thing in an unearned, now you're just stretching it type of way. And yes, it wasn't that grounded in the first movie technically, but it was grounded in the sense that it felt like I was on the ground, in the dirt, in the horror with all of these characters. The grabber felt realer. In the second one, he's supposedly more powerful, but he feels way less present and even more distant as a character and threat. When he was alive, at least you could wonder more about his past, his unpredictability, his motives, his humanness, if there was any. That horror felt realer. Here, he's been flattened to a diet Freddy Krueger with confusing rules, and the stakes feel equally as absent and muddled. Barely anyone dies in this one. This was just a very unnecessary sequel/prequel. Yes, it tries to be both, and it doesn't do justice to either. And no, the grainy Super 8 type sequences don't do enough heavy lifting for this one. Sorry. I was yawning, and my attention was straying. With love, Lucy Podpie.